Say you want to build a soundstage in busy Yonkers, New York, next to a train station where almost 100 trains pass daily, blowing their horns as they stop, leave, or pass by. Keeping the sound outside is an important part of the building envelope specifications, and that includes the roof. Nation's Roof installed roofs on not one, but 2 sound stages at Lionsgate Studios.
In the summer of 2021, a design-build firm we work with, Steve Pistula and Associates, hired us to roof a soundstage at Lionsgate Studios in Yonkers, New York. It was a typical installation with a double layer of ISO and a 60 mil mechanically attached TPO roof system. We wrapped the job up in a couple of months, and everyone was happy with the roof. Pistula then invited us to work on a second soundstage nearby for the same developer. Fast forward a couple of months, and the crews working on the TV show being recorded in the studio had a serious problem. They could actually hear the Metro North commuter trains as they came and went from the station across the street. Not a good thing. Filming literally had to stop every time the trains passed by. Pistula said they'd have to address this issue in the design of the second studio.
While an outside acoustical consultant was sought, Nation's Roof brought in some of their go-to manufacturing partners to talk about increasing the sound transmission class rating, or STC.
While we were familiar with a number of roofing products that had sound blocking properties, we looked to several manufacturers to help us dig into the product specifications and come up with a fully warrantable system that also met the acoustical needs of the building owner. ROCKWOOL, which has a solid reputation as a supplier of products with sound-absorbing properties, provided a number of tested assemblies that we could consider.
There are 3 fundamentals to reducing sound transmission through a roof assembly: add mass, add absorption, and decouple. On this project, we recommended DensDeck to provide mass, ROCKWOOL flute filler and Top Rock DD for sound absorption, and adhering the top layer of DensDeck Prime and the membrane. This allowed us to bury the fasteners in the layers below, which provided the decoupling. The ROCKWOOL building science team used the results from our highest performing assembly to model a further improved assembly using insole. The analysis predicted a sound transmission class rating of 55, which is a very robust rating and met the client's demanding requirements for this challenging site. The team also evaluated the thermal performance of the roof system using Therm and estimated a total R value of 38, exceeding the minimum requirement of R30. All in all, ROCKWOOL is very proud of the performance of this assembly.
Once the acoustical system was accepted, we brought the assembly to Carlisle to ensure that it met their requirements for a full system warranty. Carlisle recommended their 80 mil Sureweld TPO and offered the client a 20-year system warranty.
The final roof assembly over the metal deck includes ROCKWOOL Top Rock B-Deck flute filler, 3 layers of DensDeck roof board, 1 layer of 2-inch poly-ISO insulation to gain additional R value for the client, 2 layers of 3-inch ROCKWOOL Top Rock DD, 1 layer of 5/8-inch DensDeck Prime board, and to fasten the 7 underlayment layers to the deck, 12-inch Carlisle Insulfast fasteners with a 3-inch insulation plate. A second layer of DensDeck Prime above the fastened underlayment, set in Carlisle Flexible Fast Adhesive, was added to reduce sound transmission. Capping the assembly, gray Carlisle 80 mil Sureweld TPO, set in Carlisle Low VOC bonding adhesive.
It was a little bit daunting to say the least when we saw everything that it was going to take to be able to control sound, in addition to being able to control water getting into the system. One of the reasons we selected Carlisle was we could order all the materials used in the assembly through them, a one-stop solution. Beacon Building Products, which is the local distributor for Carlisle, did a marvelous job of coordinating delivery of all the products. On a complex system like this, it's a real challenge to have everything show up on time and in the proper sequence so that we could load the roof properly and work without delay. Coordination was absolutely critical, and that's where Beacon shines for Nation's Roof.
Nation's Roof is built on a culture of safety. The safety of our crews is super important. Safety was the first component that went into this project even before materials were ordered. Lionsgate required a unique plan to accommodate the loading for the large amount of materials required in this roof assembly. This isn't your typical ISO with a membrane roof. We work with Beacon to come up with a phased delivery schedule to get the materials on the roof to meet our production schedule without overloading disruption. We also had to consider the job was on a busy street and that other trades were involved. We set up safety railing with netting on all sides of the building, which prevented debris from falling down on anyone below. By the end of the job, we loaded more than 16 truckloads of material for just 30,000 square feet of finished roof and worked over 2,800 man-hours without any safety incidents.
Nations Roof has a proven track record of large projects in the New York City area and across the country. The Lionsgate Studios buildings are a great example of putting the right people and materials in place. Our entire team, that includes the manufacturers, Carlisle, Georgia-Pacific, ROCKWOOL, our distributor, Beacon Building Products, and the project management team and crews, all contributed their unique expertise and dedication to make this a successful job for the client.